Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and this is the new and improved Captain Marvel on stage 60, Ebony Maw. Now, her new third skill is really good, but she's already an amazing character, so it's really hard to get that across in a way that really explains how a godly character like this could somehow get even better. But yet here we are. In a situation where a character who deals no elemental damage whatsoever with an insane kit and then a buff to boot can somehow reach the stratosphere and go even higher. And so this is, pushing 20, 40 seconds, and we're already into the next phase. We're well on the way to being able to clear this, with time to spare. And she can definitely do this, but she can also do this with her existing uniform. But this new uniform, on top of being straight up better, is also cheaper because, if you've already purchased the previous uniform, as I explained, it only costs 630 crystals, so it's not even, it's less than 750 crystals. You don't have to upgrade it again, so it has that going for it as well. And it's got this crazy new third skill, which sometimes does more damage than her fourth skill. The only possible downside that I could see to her new third skill, and I'm not even playing that well, I'm missing procs and I'm missing certain skills on the damage proc for the rage. The only thing that I could see that makes her new third skill a little bit different and a little bit harder is that it's a longer animation. It appears to be a longer animation. So that does make it more difficult to squeeze in 4, 3, and 2, which is what people try to do with her binary form, and her kind of combo is trying to squeeze in the fourth skill, the third skill, and the second skill all into one rage proc of 7 seconds. And with her new third skill having that tremendous hit, and it even has crazy damage right at the end. Right at the end of the skill, like, look at that, it did almost half a bar off the proc, so I don't even know how much it's going to do on the proc. Obviously she needs to be in radiant form for all of this to work, but once she does, it's pretty bonkers, I gotta say. And yeah, she just hits really hard, and her third skill has even more value for PvP. Now, the one good thing, they didn't want to make her super OP, and this kind of shows that Netmarble does have some consideration for balance in the game. They didn't make her new. I mean, I'm playing badly and I'm crushing the stage in 3 minutes flat. This is mental. They didn't make her new third skill have all defense down against world bosses. The new third skill does have all defense down. It's a hidden ability, and you can go ahead and test that out in, what's it called? You can go ahead and test that on the skill preview. Only when you do binary form, keep that in mind. She has a new intro as well, but only when you do binary or radiant form, excuse me, and you use her third skill, you can see there that she's got an all defense down on the enemies, and it's hard to click on, but it's a minus 50, and if I cancel into another skill, I'll be able to get it for longer. It's a minus 50, it's a minus 20 up to minus 50, so I think each hit stacks minus 20 up to a total of minus 50. So you really only need to hit 3 times with her new Ace Bomber ability, and on top of the new effect of Fracture. So now she has 2 skills with listed Fracture. With her old uniform, she only has 1 skill with Fracture. So now she's better for PvP. She can stack more Fracture on, Wolverine and Thanos to make it harder for them to heal. Now she's already pretty much one-shotting Wolverines anyways with her third or fourth skill when she's in Radiant form. So I don't really know why, but I mean, if you were doing sort of a battle of attrition and you didn't have your Radiant form, you could still stack those Fractures, which is useful. And then once you do Radiant form, the third skill will also have the all defense down, which, although it doesn't apply for PvE, it does apply in PvP, and it will, completely dominate those enemies. And Thanos does have a lot of defense. I'm not sure if it will apply. Since it doesn't apply in World Boss, we still have to wait and see if it applies in ABX. It may make it easier for her to get to 3.5 million. She's already getting to 3.5 million pretty easily, but this uniform is even crazier. And I don't know how they made a character that's already this good actually somehow better. But they did. And now we're going to just show off a little bit of comparison between her old third skill and her new third skill. We're on a different Shadowland stage this time. We're going to see how long it takes me to kill the first two enemies here, Ghost Rider and Angela. Now, hopefully we'll be able to group them up, because otherwise this is going to take forever. But I'm fairly certain that her new ability is doing, anywhere from 500,000 to 1 million more damage per skill, and so that actually adds up to a lot. We may need to just say which one dies first. Instead of just saying, let's amend that previous message. Instead of saying killing them both, let's just kill one of them, because yeah, she's very single-minded in her attacks. We're gonna lose the Radiant here, but when we get it back and we pop the 3, this should be the end of, yeah. So that took about 24 seconds to murder the shit out of an almost 8 million HP Ghost Rider. He had nothing to say about that one. Let's take a look at how much damage she's doing now with her old uniform. Still a very good uniform, but especially if you're at tier 3, I think this new one is a must purchase because it's cheaper and you don't have to upgrade it again. So it's strictly just a 630 crystal purchase. And if you don't have either uniform, oh baby, are you going to, even at tier 2, your Captain Marvel is going to be kicking ass. I mean, personally, I'm going to be picking up her new uniform on my free-to-play account, and that is how much I think it is, valuable, even though I have a tier 1 Captain Marvel. So we're going to go for Ghost Rider this time again, and just so that we make sure, same defensive properties, same everything. You can see here that her new third skill is shorter, or her old third skill is shorter, so I can actually fit in 4, 3, and 2 with 1 second left on the proc, whereas with the other ability, with the other third skill, since it's longer, you can't actually fit in the 2. But the 2 is really nice because it helps you ignite the next proc. So that's pretty close. It's 30 or 26 seconds versus, what was it, 24 seconds. It's really not that much of a difference this time around. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, her new third skill does hit a lot harder, I promise you. And if I did more testing where I just do the third skill and you compare the amount of damage that it's doing, it's definitely doing more damage, and you can see it especially in World Boss. If we go back to that stage 60, you'll see that I'm not going to hit the same speed in terms of being going into his next phase so easily. And there is variance here with the strikers, but it's hard to tell. It's sometimes hard to tell with Captain Marvel because she's just doing so much damage that you're like, what part of this? And the crits are so massive that but I can definitely tell once you play enough with a character, you start to get a feel for how much damage they do. And yeah, her third skill is good, but you can see there it's barely doing 1/4 of a bar. But it's really, I think it's the advantage of being a shorter animation. Now in PvP, it's interesting because in my experience thus far, it hasn't been the greatest skill, her third skill. It seems to be a little bit harder to start up than this third skill, so it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. But let's just see how much time ends up being left here when we get him down to about 1 bar. I had 2 minutes left on the old clear. Oh, we got her striking in there for Nick Fury. That was kind of cute. But now we're going to go binary and try to kill this old bag. But yeah, I don't know who is going to come and stop Captain Marvel, because obviously not even Thanos can stop her. Well, apparently the gold bars can stop her, so maybe Thane can stop her. No, but I don't really know who's going to come and, like, who's the next tier 3 that's going to actually put a dent in Captain Marvel. I can't really imagine anyone who's going to be tanky enough to survive her her 4th skill. That's kind of the problem that we're in right now, is in PvP, this landscape might not change for a long ass time. Because she does so much damage, and to be able to tank that much damage, you need to have more HP than Thanos. Even Thanos can't tank her 4th skill, and when she does binary and then she does 4, even I'm scared with my regen Thanos. Well, I recently changed him over for energy, or for rage rather, but still, it's hard to imagine someone overtaking her. I guess Jean Grey. But it's going to turn into kind of a Wild West of kill or be killed, which I'm not really a big fan of. Maybe if they update the ultimates and Blue Marvel gets his tier 3, he'll be able to to deal with her because he's got that 70% native damage reduction. But I don't want to have to tier 3 Blue Marvel. I mean, I like Blue Marvel. It wouldn't be a bummer to tier 3 him. But for all those people out there who don't have Blue Marvel built up at all, I remember that grind, and I did that grind, if you guys recall. I did that grind with you guys. I used the lab to get Blue Marvel from 6-star, from chapter 13, from 6-star gear 15 all the way up to tier 2, and that was a bloody sacrifice. He's doing a lot more iframing this time around, which I think is affecting my clear speed just a little bit. He's not getting mind controlled as much as he was. And I'm getting punked around here. This is kind of annoying. I might die, actually. Wow. But it seems as though even with the speed, I don't think there's going to be too much of a difference between the clear speeds. We're coming up again on 2 minutes left. And we're coming up on... He's getting mind controlled a lot now, which is nice to kind of wrap this baby up. But you can even see, just if you compare how much her third skill was doing then versus now, it's different. It's definitely different. And yeah, we're right around 2 minutes. We're right around 2 minutes left. I think we had a bit more than 2 minutes left. So it's not a huge... You're not going to see a huge spike in her damage, if you've already been pushing high stages with her, but you will see a spike. And for her, a spike in damage is a lot, because it's kind of like Sharon Rogers. Her new uniform is very, very good. It's a little bit more of a jump up than Captain Marvel, but it's still a jump nonetheless. And when you have a character that strong who gets a jump, you take notice. And I would also say it's probably a good comparison would be Deadpool. So if you like those uniforms, if you purchase those uniforms, Deadpool's a little bit different because he never had a uniform, so that base buff really helped him in PvP with all those extra stats. But yeah, for Captain Marvel, this uniform is mental, and I think her value is going to go up in PvP even more, and then it's just a scary thought of who's going to take over. Plus, on top of that, you get the 5% all attack, all defense, which it just makes it even worse. I mean, she's at 36,000 energy attack. Without a leadership, which is pretty insane. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of Captain Marvel and how bonkers she is. Who's gonna stop her? Honestly, I need to know so I can start building them up, because I cannot think of a single character that we have in the game other than, maybe Strife Dr. Doom, but then honestly the only other person I can see is a hero, because she doesn't have damage reduction against heroes. She only has a 5% damage reduction against hero. But remember now, I wasn't even talking about this. With her new uniform, she's got a 10% reduction to their damage and a 15% reduction increase in her damage. So on top of everything else I've mentioned, she has a stronger fight, and she's got a better shot against villains than heroes. So hit me up in the comments with who you think could ever dethrone Captain Marvel other than Jean Grey, Doctor Doom, Strife, and Blue Marvel. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.